Hi, thank you so much for tuning to our last episode about the sun sign of the Gemini. Today's episode is focusing on the career of a Gemini, which is our last episode about this sun sign. Remember, when we talk about the Gemini, that is when the sun enters this third sign on the 20th of May till the 21st of June. All those born under this sun sign are said to be Geminis. Now, there is something very remarkable about this sun sign. Probably let us look first, why is it important for us to do or talk about the career or vocation? When we are born, growing up, from the tender age, young age, school age, we get impressed by certain things in life, or there are certain triggers that suggest what we could be when we grow up, or when we are older, when we mature, or what kind of career, what kind of vocation are we going to be pursuing. Sometimes we are confused by friends, society, family, and even sometimes peer pressure in telling us which profession has more money or which profession can make us happy. All of this above sometimes could be so wrong. Each and every person, when enters this earth, comes on earth carrying something. You know, when we are born, we are carrying something, our little hands clenched, symbolizing that there is something that we are carrying within ourselves. There is something that we are carrying and we are about to give it into this world. We are about to give it to our society. It is our duty to figure out what is that we should be offering the world. What is it that we should be doing for our good? There is a great body of scientists that did some research in the mid-50s. It's quite some time. These French scientists, it was Michel and Francois Gokali. These scientists statistically tested and compared the planetary positioning at birth for eminent physicians, scientists, athletes, writers, military generals, actors, and politicians as well. What the Gokalians found coincided with the evidence that the earlier Egyptians and Babylonian astrologers maintained. You see, the ancient astrologers placed a great importance on the eastern rising position of the planets and stars, as well as the zenith point of culmination, meaning when the planets reach the highest point or the highest mark. Those two main positions prove to carry a certain message about the career of an individual. Curiously enough, sometimes later, the works of the Gokalians also agreed with the comments made by the great psychic Edgar Cayce, who said that planets within 7 degrees above the rising would be extremely influential in the life of an individual. Despite all the attempts of skeptical scientists who tried by all means to invalidate the astrological and Gokalians results, they remain undefeated, and all studies conducted to disprove them have only ended up in replicating the results. A career or a vocational chart reading can give a good overview of abilities. By that I mean the talents are assessed and needs are also described. Why do you need to do and follow this career? What are your deepest needs that fuel you to go this route or take this profession? There are people who, for example, who work very well alone. There are also people who work very well with others. Sometimes one may not really know whether should I become a boss or would I work very well in becoming a secretary, or should I become an entrepreneur or an employee. All this information is contained in the birth chart of an individual. It is important to define areas of interest, whether one should work with a group or with figures, with machines, or with people, or whether he or she would be happier to work indoors or outdoors. Those are the kind of information that is quite important to look at. While on the subject of this sun sign, let us look what this Gemini versatility and communicative skill should ideally be used in career, meaning which kind of jobs will be mostly ideal for a Gemini sun sign. Many Geminis do very well in working in the media, and they are also a natural salesperson of the zodiac. The Gemini, they could sell an eye student eczema, as we previously stated. They know how to say, when to say. They are born like that. Geminis do very well in departmental stores, advertising, as well as commercial travelers, simply because they know how to work with quite a number of things or putting things together at once. So in solitary work, for example, if you take a Gemini and let the Gemini work alone, or maybe doing some solitary kind of jobs, he or she would find himself isolated, away from communicating as they are naturally gifted with. But at least when a Gemini acquires a lonely top job, he or she won't fail to listen to former colleagues, although this doesn't always mean that their advice will be taken. But they are very good in hearing the advices of others as to what could be done better. What is it that can where, on what areas one can improve. For a Gemini, a full and free interchange of ideas and battling to and fro of different opinions is very, very important, which means when a Gemini chooses a career, ought to look for those careers that will give him or her the opportunity to go back and forth and changing ideas, not on doing one thing which may seem to be boring at times. For the sake of clarity, perhaps it will be good to look at the faults of a Gemini. We all do have some faults there and there. You see, a Gemini sun sign doesn't really have a staying power. They don't really concentrate longer, or they've got a long span of concentration. It is better for them to do one thing and move from one thing to the other. That's another thing that is quite important for them. You know, even in business, Gemini can be highly shrewd and cunning. And if they apply these characteristics positively to making money, they often do extremely well. Although sometimes a faulty decision, perhaps too hastily made, will result in financial collapse. It is quite important to remember that Gemini is not a very ambitious sun sign, but the Gemini's imagination will happily enjoy success before it is actually achieved, which can act as a spur. They usually lack staying power with a short attention span. Sometimes while at work or maybe in a meeting, you will find, or a meeting, a work-related meeting, they will be busy jotting out something, and then you may think that they are writing notes about the meeting, whereas they are writing a song, which is a sign that they are already bored. They want something exciting. If the job for a Gemini is exciting, or it's exciting them, they are most likely to stay there and do even well in staying there. Gemini, it is quite important that you look at your interests, at your needs, because if you do not, it is easy to go to college or university and study something, do something that you do not really like. Look deep within yourself so that you can give back to society over the things that you like. This is what we had for you today. Next episode, we're going to be talking about the next sun sign, which is the sign of Cancer. The sign of Cancer, which is the fourth sign and the water sign. We'll talk more on our next episode. Remember, Africa, you are beautiful, you are intelligent, and you are also powerful. Let nobody take away